to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Olivia Calfee. Keaton Hall has the night off. Election day is quickly approaching and all eyes are on the Republican race for governor. But as Samantha Valentino reports, there are other races to watch on Tuesday.
Tuesday, Kentuckians will be on the edge of their seats waiting to learn who will emerge as the Republican nominee for governor, facing incumbent Governor Andy Beshear, who many predict will clear his primary. But the governor's race isn't the only vote we're watching. Several special elections will also take place this election day. Our very own Bill Bryan is tracking them all.
Occasionally, when there is a call for a special election and it happens very close to an upcoming primary or general election where that race wouldn't normally be on, but there's going to be a special, they will move that to the next upcoming election because you have everything in place to hold the vote. And it's happening again in this election with the wet-dry vote in Madison County.
Voters in Madison County will have the opportunity to vote for county-wide alcohol sales. The city of Richmond is fully wet with bars, restaurants, and package sales. Berea only has limited restaurant sales and the rest of the county is dry. That could soon change depending on how things go this Tuesday. Another special election will fill a Kentucky State Senate seat. Senator Ralph Alvarado has served in the state Senate, representing Kentucky's 28th district since 2015. He was recently appointed the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Health. 3 candidates are running for Alvarado's former seat.
The winner of Tuesday's vote will become a member of the state Senate. This is not a primary in that case. This is a special election that was put on to be simultaneous with the primary vote. Once that election is decided, the winner of Tuesday's election will take office.
Voters in Bath, Clark, Menifee, Montgomery, and a portion of Fayette counties will vote in this special election. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
To find out where to vote or what's on your ballot, you can visit electky.gov/voters. We are a little more than 24 hours away from primary election day here in Kentucky, and there are some GOP governor candidates who will be doing some last-minute campaigning here in the mountains. Somerset Mayor Alan Keck will be making stops throughout eastern Kentucky tomorrow, including London, Manchester, Jackson, and Pikeville. In the first part of the day, Keck will also be in Moorhead later on. State Auditor Mike Harmon is also making several visits to the mountains. Harmon will begin his day in Wolfe County at around 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. He will finish his campaigning with a stop at Old Town Grill in London at approximately 7:30 tomorrow evening. As far as we know, Attorney General Daniel Cameron and former UN Ambassador Kelly Craft will not be making any more trips to eastern Kentucky before Tuesday. Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles wrapped up his visit to the mountains last Thursday. The Attorney General's office is warning Kentuckians to keep an eye out for election law violations and election fraud. If you see something strange at the polls, you can call the election fraud hotline at 1-800-328-8683. It is active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On election day, it will be fully staffed from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. the same time on the polls are open. Prosecutors will review any tips submitted. Days after he was hospitalized, Kentucky State Representative Lamin Swann has died. In a statement from the House Democratic Caucus on behalf of the representative's mother, Pamela Dixon, she says she's grateful for the outpouring support and love they have received. Julia Sandor spoke to people who worked closely with Swann and say they want to keep his legacy alive.
Representative Swann was a kind and gentle, informed spirit.
Friends and colleagues of Representative Lamin Swann say just last weekend they saw his great energy and homegrown spirit as he attended the Kentucky Derby. Just more than 1 week later, Swann passed away at the age of 45. It's a reminder that things can change in the blink of an eye.
I was saddened. I think that saddened is the best and only word to say after having seen him.
Representative George Brown Jr. and Representative Chad All say they had the pleasure to work alongside Swann in the General Assembly. Representative All grew to know him on a more personal level, having been by his side advocating in the community for nearly 20 years.
Lamin's been a close personal friend of mine for a long, long time, and for him to aspire to public service and then finally achieve that goal just this last year, get to serve in the General Assembly, for one term and then to pass upon so close to adjournment it's just heartbreaking and devastating.
Swann was at countless rallies and events advocating for causes such as LGBTQ rights, racial justice, and family reunification. The Lexington native, Tates Creek High School grad, and UK alumnus will be remembered by many across the Commonwealth for his inclusivity and nonstop service to the public.
It'll be incumbent upon me and the other legislators to maybe pause and reflect about the point of view of Lamin.
We will fight to ensure that his legacy is one that hopefully will pass a bill.
In Lexington, Julia Sandor, WKYT.
Final arrangements for Representative Swann will be announced within the next few days.
It was a warm one out there for Mom today. Plenty of warm air, sunshine. Only a couple of showers in a few select locations. Here's where we finished up this Mother's Day. 80 degrees in London, 79 in Jackson. That's a little above average, but not aggressively so. Certainly not close to our record highs, not far from 90 for this time of year. Set back 1982 in Jackson, 1998 in London. Highs around the region today got up into the low 80s in several spots. High water marks in Harlan and Middlesboro, both at 82, were the warm spots there throughout the region. Temperatures have dropped into the 70s out there, and we'll continue to see some of those temperatures fall further into the 50s in some locations. Excuse me, during the overnight. This is all just ground clutter on the radar. That's the location we saw some of the showers earlier there in far southeast Kentucky through the next 12 hours. Excuse me again, dropping those temperatures into the 50s. Got me choked up, right? Before we make a run back to the 60s for tomorrow. We're back warm again, but we're also tracking perhaps renewed potential for some of those thunderstorms, and those chances are going up later this week. Those details in a few minutes, Olivia.
All right, thank you, Evan. Last Saturday, the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla took place at Westminster Abbey, bringing in people from all over the globe to witness the festivity, including one Kentucky teen. 14-year-old Monishan Wignakumar was born in Corbin, Kentucky, but lived in Lexington, Kentucky before moving to London, England to become a student at the Westminster School. The Kentucky native is also a King Scholar, which led him to be one of the first people to welcome Charles and Camilla into the Abbey and proclaim them as the next monarchs.
I think it was at 11 that the king and queen actually entered the Abbey, and that's when the procession actually started. So we were the first people to proclaim the king, and that's basically that was mainly what our role was for the rest of the coronation. And I think, but I mean, personally, I think the moment that'll stick with me for like the rest of my life is the actual moment when they put the crown on his head.
Wignakumar says he feels honored to have carried out this historic role, but he also feels proud to represent Kentucky as well. While trying to recover what we lost in the July flood, the West Letcher Oral History Society is finding new artifacts to collect. The society collects anything pertaining to Letcher County that is significant to the community. Member Joyce Hampton says that even includes creative ways people would battle sickness.
We're trying to find all the mountain old-time cures that people in this area used when there were not many doctors around. So they had to come up with their own remedies for things.
The History Society is based in Blackie, where the community hosted their annual festival this weekend. 2 people are recovering after their car went over an embankment in Menifee County. Crews received a call just before 11 Saturday evening, looping in help from Wolfe County Search and Rescue. It happened on Highway 715 at Pumpkin Bottom in the Red River Gorge. The fire department utilized the jaws of life to remove the passenger and the driver that were trapped inside the car. They both are expected to recover. When we return on Mountain News Weekend Edition, a mother-daughter pair take an international trip for the ages. More on how 2 pilots are making history coming up.
Plus, the few storms we had tonight winding down, but not done with rain chances yet. They go up later this week. I'm tracking the latest, and it's coming up right after this.